Coming up on Mountain News this morning, folks came out in droves heading to polling sites for early voting in person. And families throughout Appalachia spent the night trick-or-treating in their favorite neighborhoods.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Well, good morning and happy November, everyone. I'm Madison Carmouche. We are inching up to that 5 o'clock mark this Friday morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Drake Foley for a look at your forecast this morning. Drake, it's not Friday morning weather, but I guess we need it.
Yeah, we definitely do need the rain. I believe that we officially finished as the driest October in recorded history, as we really didn't get much rain at all last night. Now we're getting a lot of rain right now. Taking a look at our sky cam, you can see all the rain coming down and the road starting to glisten. That rain's going to continue for the next little bit. Looking at our currents right now, sitting at 59 with humidity at 100%. So humidity's not great. Probably going to be a good bit of fog on your morning commute along with rain. Temperatures right now still sitting in the low 60s across most of the area, but it's going to get a lot cooler tonight since that cold front came through this morning. All right, looking at your out the door forecast for today, you're staying in the 60s all day, but you're definitely going to need that jacket because we're going to have to deal with scattered showers. Madison?
All right, Drake, thank you. Kentuckians are now able to exercise their civic duty with no excuse in-person early voting kicking off yesterday throughout the Commonwealth. I was able to catch up with early voters in Laurel County. Lola Daughtery is a Laurel County early voter who says there is too much on the line to sit on the sidelines this election.
If you believe a certain way, you need to vote that way to make your voice heard, whether it be on the issue of abortion, the economy, the border, or even just the division in the country. You know, you need to vote so that your voice counts.
Presidential candidates made big strides to get Gen Z voters out to vote this election year, and first-time voter Justin Sparkman says it is encouraging seeing his political science degree play out.
Obviously it's exciting, you know, first time fully participating in especially the democratic process, presidential election. Mainly due to age.
While Sparkman is new to the booth, Jeannie Cochran says voting in the election is something she never takes lightly.
I've never missed an election. It's very important for people to speak their mind. If you don't speak your mind, you have no argument at the end. So I think it's very important that people vote.
Laurel County Clerk Tony Brown says he is impressed with the turnout, especially in the first few hours.
It's going through rather quickly. We're voting over 200 people an hour right now, and the line is still going, which is a great thing because you want to see people vote.
Kentuckians can early vote until November 2nd. Locations and times vary per county. To see a sample ballot before you head to the polls, you can visit sos.ky.gov and click on your county in the election section for that information. Laurel County Clerk Tony Brown is responding to concerns over a TikTok video. The video claimed a voting machine incorrectly recorded a vote. Brown said the device seen here in a video posted by the clerk was tested by the Attorney General's office. While the issue was briefly recreated by touching between candidate boxes, no further problems were found. He assured voters that the machine allows for a thorough review of choices before final submission. Let's take a look at some other locations throughout Eastern Kentucky where you can vote early. In person, no excuse absentee voting runs through Saturday, so you can go to these places today and Saturday. In Leslie County, you can visit the Courthouse Annex in Hyden anytime between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. In Johnson County, you can go to the courthouse lobby in Paintsville between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And in Wolfe County, you can go to the courthouse in Campton between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Governor Andy Beshear and First Lady Brittany Beshear took part in the first day of no excuse early voting. They cast their ballots yesterday morning in Frankfort.
Well, my message is get out and vote. Regardless of who you're going to vote for, this is the bedrock of our democracy. We need everybody participating. And it looks like we're seeing long lines this morning, which is a good thing. So we want as much participation as possible. So please, everybody get out there, be a part of our great democracy, and vote.
And while Governor Beshear says he's grateful to have 3 days to vote early, he hopes to see an entire week of no excuse early voting in the future. Governor Beshear also says he believes it is time to abolish the Electoral College system. He says the system means 7 states determine the outcome of the presidential race. 5 times in history has the winner of the popular vote lost the election in the Electoral College. Senate President Robert Stivers called the Electoral College a vital pillar of our republic and said Beshear's proposal is a, quote, disrespectful affront to every Kentuckian who values their right to be heard, end quote. Attorney General Russell Coleman says he is protecting the integrity of elections in Kentucky with the no excuse early voting underway. Attorney General Coleman has asked Kentuckians to report any suspected election law violations they may notice. The election fraud hotline is on your screen. It is 800-328-VOTE. Here is a look at a couple more races we will be keeping an eye on come Tuesday. In the battle for the Commonwealth's attorney in the 33rd Judicial Circuit, which serves Perry County, Republican John Hanson will take on Democratic Jonathan Wilder. Of course, that seat was vacated by Scott Blair. Jackie Steele was appointed as a special prosecutor following Blair's resignation. Here is another race involving candidates running for Commonwealth's attorney. This one is for the 44th Judicial Circuit. Mike Taylor is taking on Jesse Jean Moberg. The 44th Judicial Circuit serves Bell County. And in the battle for Commonwealth's attorney in the 41st Judicial Circuit, Republican Haley Jo Fields squares off against Democrat Jake Roberts. This circuit serves Jackson, Clay, and Leslie counties. Fields defeated longtime incumbent Gary Gregory in the May primary election. Last night, the rain held off in Hazard for a warm trick-or-treating. The Kiwanis Club hosted its annual Safe Halloween at the National Guard Armory. They invited businesses and organizations to hand out candy and other goodies. Sherry Spradlin says this event allows kids to safely trick-or-treat.
That's why we started it, to get different businesses and organizations all together so that every child would have a place to go to, because nowadays it's harder to go door to door.
Spradlin says Kiwanis Club members try to make the world a better place, one child at a time. Kids from Model City Daycare and Head Start hit the streets in Pikeville yesterday for the annual Downtown Trick or Treat. The event is a morning march through the city streets that allows the youngest kids a chance to grab some candy in their costumes ahead of trick-or-treating in the evening. Representatives with Model City Head Start say it brings the kids together for a fun day and lets them meet some of the area first responders and community members.
A lot of kids, they don't get a chance to actually go out in the town to trick-or-treat, and they get to see just the different businesses and be with each other, and that's something that they don't always get to do.
Business owners say the parade of Pike County's cutest is always a good way to celebrate the season. One Letcher County family celebrated a decades-old totem pole tradition this Halloween. The Sumter family grows their own pumpkins, then uses them to create a jack-o'-lantern totem pole for trick-or-treaters to enjoy. The tradition has been planted in the Oven Fort community since the 1980s, and pumpkin pole patriarch Ronnie Sumter says he hopes his family will always light up the night with the special showcase.
I hope it continues when I'm gone, and it stays basically the same place.
Sumter says there have only been a few years when the totem was not planted, and in those instances, he says the whole season felt wrong. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, Georgia's longest running criminal case came to a conclusion this week with the acceptance of a plea deal.
We have a rainy start to November. I'll have the latest details on when that rain will end.